All right, everyone, this is the SageModeler platform that we're going to use to analyze our data. SageModeler is a free online platform that has some really helpful tools for visualizing our data that we can use for our experiment. First, we're going to go through the process of graphing our insect abundance data and answering some questions to help us think about what the graph shows. Afterwards, you can do the same thing again for your caterpillar attack rate data. So we've uploaded the data that you helped to collect into SageModeler. So when you open up the link to our data, it will bring you to this page here. So first of all, you'll notice that we have our research questions listed because that's really helpful to refer to your research questions whenever we're analyzing data. Research question 1 about insect abundance and research question 2 about bird activity. Then to answer this question, we have the data that you helped collect. So in all of our different replicate plots, and the different treatments, water spender plants, water saver plants, and non-native plants, we have the number of insects collected from each sample and the numbers of caterpillars with attack marks from each of those plots. So to answer our first question about the number of insects, we need to know where we had the most and least insects between the 3 plant type treatments. So looking at the data here, it's a little hard to say, right? It's just a list of numbers, but we can use this to graph and plot all of those data points so we can compare it visually. So first of all, to create a graph, you want to hit the graph button. And you can make your graph a little bigger if you want. And the thing we want to compare is the type of plants or our treatment. So we're going to drag that into the x-axis. And then we want to compare the number of insects in each plot. So we can drag that over here. And now, as you can see, there's a different number of insects in each sample we collected. So this is one of those samples that you shook into a bucket and counted how many insects we have. So some are higher and some are lower all around. And we want to know if, in general, one was higher than the others, if non-native plants, water saver plants, or water spender plants differed. So there are different ways that scientists can come up with one number to represent a group of numbers. So sometimes they might calculate the range, which is the difference between the smallest and biggest numbers in the group. Other times they might use the median or the middle number, or the mode, the most common number. For our purposes, though, we're going to use the mean or average, just like we talked about and calculated earlier in Project Crystal. So as you remember, the mean is calculated by adding up all of the insect abundance numbers from each sample and dividing them by the total number of samples. So SageModeler will do this for us if we select the mean in this little toolbar here. And now it adds a line to our graph that represents the mean of all the different insect samples. And you can see how the mean compares. Did one of our plants have an overall higher number of insects and lower number of insects than the others? So now it's your turn. This is just a sample data set. You can create a graph just like we did together for your insect data that shows where the most and least insects were found. And don't forget to save your progress when you're done with your graph. I want to save them later. So you can save to a Google Drive here, or you can even create a screenshot of your data here on your computer.